Thank you, we think. March is Women's History Month, and we are taking time to recognize women who've been leaders in our communities, state, and nation. Kathleen Sebelius is among them. She was the first woman elected Kansas Insurance Commissioner and the second to serve as the state's governor. From there, she served as the U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary, and she's here today, which I'm sure is the highlight of it all.
It is, absolutely.
Good to see you. What are you up
Nice
to these days?
You. Well, Gary and I live in Lawrence. We live a couple of blocks from the KU campus, so it's an exciting place to be in a college town with lots going on. Our younger son and two of our grandchildren are in Lawrence, about 6 blocks away, the 1-year-old and the 4.5-year-old, so I get to spend time with them. But I get on airplanes a lot. I serve on 4 commercial boards. I have policy work with the Aspen Institute and the Kaiser Family Foundation, and do a little politics at times and lots of healthcare issues.
So not really retired at all.
No.
And we have purposely said this is not a political discussion, so we're not going to get into any of that, but I am interested. So the year you were elected insurance commissioner was the same year Carla Stovall, a Republican, was elected attorney general. 2 women in our statewide elected offices. What did that mean to you at the time and even now looking back?
Well, actually, Carla and I were good friends. We went through the KU Master's program together. And so we knew each other, and it was great to have an attorney general. Even though she was from a different party, we actually got along very well. We had a lot of information in common. We exchanged ideas and saw each other on a regular basis. It was nice to have somebody at the head table who I could chat with when they lined up the state officers. And so she became a friend and ally. We had some programmatic work together. There were times where, as the insurance commissioner, we're trying to crack down on scammers who were ripping off old people. She was always eager to be involved in those operations and help from the Attorney General's point of view. So we had a great collaborative working relationship.
From your perspective, what challenges did you face as a woman in politics? I'm sure politics always has its own set of challenges, but as a woman, was there resistance to you as you tried to maintain authority, set policy?
Well, I always remember, Melissa, people would ask me, are you running as a woman candidate? And my answer always was, do I have a choice? I'm not sure quite what that means, but so I don't know how different it would have been as a man. I do know, I remember going door to door when I was a legislator, and every once in a while somebody would ask me, well, where are your children? And you know, I know that question did not get asked of my male colleagues as they went door to door. Things like that just people looked at you a little differently and wanted to make sure that you were taking care of the home front, taking care of the business front, tough enough to make the deals. But I guess I was kind of ready for that, used to that. I grew up with 2 brothers and elbows out, and had a notion that you had to make your way in the world and jump higher and run faster and do the Ginger Rogers thing of doing everything Fred Astaire did, just in high heels and backwards.
And backwards. Why are women's voices so important? As you've navigated both the state political landscape and then the national political landscape, why are women's voices important?
Well, let's start with the fact that women are the majority of adults in this country, so a majority voice is always important. Women have different life experiences than their male colleagues. They are often in different situations. They have a different perspective to bring. I think everybody's voice is important. I think it's really important to get elected officials and appointed officials and boards and commissioners that really represent the views of the people they are supposed to serve. And you can't do that if you don't look like them, if you don't know those experiences, if you don't bring that expertise to the table.
Did you ever feel like people were tougher on you when something went wrong because you were a woman?
Oh, probably. I think women, you know, there's a doubt sometimes that you can really do the job. I think there was always a sense of proving yourself. I know that there are women who, when they have lost an election, people say, oh, well, we'll never look at a woman candidate again. Well, a lot of men have lost elections, and that is not the view. So there's still a sense you're not quite there, you're not really at the table. I've always believed you kind of have to pull up your own chair, make yourself welcome, be a mentor and a friend, listen carefully, but then do the leadership job that people elected you to do. And at that point, they say, oh, well, we were with you all along.
Well, that is good advice for the next generation. Kathleen Sebelius, appreciate you coming and catching up and sharing all that insight. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Well, we're going to find out what a fantastic local athlete is going to do on the world stage next.